Which event are you here for? Are you here for all three, the immigration,
No,
trans?
I'm with the trans organizations.
Okay, can we talk about that?
Sure.
What are you most passionate about in your organization?
I'm Diana Adams. I'm the executive director of Chosen Family Law Center, and I've been a legal advocate for LGBTQ New Yorkers for over 20 years. And right now, I see that we're in an emergency state because we've always needed more funding. We've always been underserved. But right now, we have not only trans immigrants coming from other countries to New York City with unmet need, but we also have trans New Yorkers and queer people from all over the country who are coming, family members of trans people from all over the country, coming to New York City, needing services. And we cannot go back to the time in the 1970s and 80s when downtown Manhattan and the West Village were full of homeless youth. And we can't go back to that. Not in a city that is known as the birthplace of the Pride movement. The rest of the world calls Pride Christopher Street Day. That's the promise that New York City makes, and we need to live up to it with funding right now.
And then when it comes to gender affirming care for minors specifically, what age do you think that kids should start really exploring their gender?
I think that exploring gender is something that we can have kids talking to their parents about from a very early age. And when we're talking about gender affirming care, this is something that gets very politicized, but actually we're talking about situations of parents and doctors and psychologists working with a family for a period of years. And the rate of regret is very, very low, much, much less than getting a tattoo at age 18, much, much less than getting a knee replacement surgery. So we're talking about teenagers usually who want to delay puberty so that they aren't going through more of a stressful transition because, frankly, we're dealing with a crisis of suicide and suicidal ideation among trans teenagers. And this is one way that parents and doctors are getting together to support them, which is affirmed by medical providers and medical organizations and psychological organizations across the country.
Hard question for you. In countries in Europe right now where they stopped gender affirming care for minors, unaliving ideations did not go up. Did not. What do you think about that?
I don't have those statistics to verify whether or not that's true.
Okay. I did the research. They did not go up for unaliving ideations. And then you're saying for puberty blockers, so you want to give them time to kind of explore their gender identity. What would be the reason, and again, we're just talking, what would be the reason that you think that children need to explore their gender?
I'm not here as a medical provider.
I'm just asking, just in general. Yeah.
Children need to be able to explore their gender because so many of us are put into boxes of gender from the time of birth. And that includes expectations about what it means to be a girl, what it means to be a boy. And when people talk about grooming, I see that more from our straight worlds of, oh, look, it's her little boyfriend. Oh, she's going to be a princess someday. And the ways that we treat boys and girls differently, I think that's the way that gender comes up most. For me as a parent, that's something that I was very cautious about doing so that I could allow my child to decide how they wanted to express themselves. That's way before medical care. That's what comes to a level of more like self-determination that I think is really important.
So I have 3 kids. I have a 17-year-old daughter, a 15-year-old daughter, and a 1-year-old son. He's going to be 1 on Saturday. When it comes to raising, what I did for my children, we didn't talk about gender. Right? I just let my daughters kind of explore and do whatever they want to do. One is more masculine, one's more feminine, one's more athletic, one's kind of more girly, typical girly, she's very soft and sweet and kind and, just very, I guess more to herself. And the other one's more outspoken, which would be I guess stereotypical for more of a masculine trait. But they kind of found that on their own without talking about gender. Do you think that every parent needs to talk to their children about gender?
I think that this is a conversation between adults in how you parent children intentionally. And I think it's more a conversation maybe with grandma and aunts and uncles about we don't need to give the baby frilly dresses. We don't need to give the baby boy football jerseys. And to be choosy about letting children express themselves. That's less of a conversation with kids and more of an intentional way of parenting and relating to children.
All right, that's it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
What is your handle on TikTok?
Viral Christie.
Christie?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
A little controversial, kind of just going out in the street talking women's issues, sex work, etc. So you can see it.
I'll come from a particular support or not support?
I don't believe that children should be transitioning, particularly. I don't really believe that anybody should really be changing their body, honestly. I think people should just kind of learn to accept their bodies for what they are. And I know that's controversial here, but I do like to hear people and how they.
Yeah, thanks for hearing my perspective.
Yeah, anytime.
Is it viral, Christie?
TIE.
TIE.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks so much. Nice. Excuse me for the cough. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. Let's do some more. Let's see.